by Hyundai. Kenneth Taylor back to Siemens, then back to Virgil van Dijk, all but Gertrude in the French half, as far as outfield players are concerned. Van Dijk has it again. There's a run on the right-hand side by Timber, the right back coming inside. That allows Berghuis to stay wide. He gets the last touch as it cannons off the corner flag. Theo Hernandez just using his body to edge the Ajax man out.
ครับเพื่อนๆขออภัยครับเมื่อกี้
Antoine Griezmann with his pink hair. He's known for doesn't mind changing things up, does he, Griezmann? But I do wonder how long that one will last. It's not a great look, I have to say, as Taylor wins the ball ahead of him. It's into Memphis Depay in the box. Can he get the shot away? Yes, he can. It's well blocked by Upamecano. Griezmann back, then Rabiot just trying to tie things up on the edge of the box. Upamecano has it again, dinks it down the line. It's a good measured ball as well to Griezmann, who chests it. He's fouled by De Roon. Is it going to be play on? Timber thinks it is, but it's not. Referee Maurizio Mariani this evening from Italy blows the whistle. And France, again, just happy to almost play that it's their own game. They're going to move the ball around the bat, but you do very much feel that the French, you mentioned it, they don't always have a 90 minutes in them, do they?
ขออภัยครับเมื่อกี้หลุด
In transition, they're lightning quick. They move the ball very, very well, and they've got the power and quality to really undermine sides. And you do feel that is the way they're playing this. They're happy for the Dutch to have the ball because they know they can get bodies forward when they have it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, particularly with perhaps Kolo Muani playing up top instead of Giroud. Well, you know, all due respect to Giroud, he's not exactly making that front line quicker. Ball over the top from Netherlands just got a little bit too much on it. That was why Nelden breaking from midfield, but just a little bit heavy the pass, and it's gone through to the keeper. But yeah, that pace is key to any side really, and that front three, Griezmann's obviously not lightning, but he's no slouch. But Coman, Mbappe, Kolo Muani could cause real problems. I mean, the two.
ขออภัยครับพี่เมื่อกี้เนี่ยเป็นหลุดแล้วมันก็ค้างหลุดออกไปเลยงงเหมือนกันผมอะ
Into the box across to Coman. Great challenge by Nathan. For all the world, it was going to be 3-0 there. Aki mentioned it. He's had a great season, and that was a great challenge.
I mean, he's brilliant. I mean, it's too easy a little bit, but he is quick. And the cover is there in the end. But I mean, Aki's
ขออภัยครับพี่ขออภัยจริง
Coman's almost got a tap, and it is a
ไม่รู้เป็นอะไร
recovery challenge, but he's taken a little bit of a risk sliding in from sort of behind. He just got enough of the ball, but I mean, again, it's simple, isn't it?
ใช่ครับพี่อยู่ดีก็หลุดเฉยเลยกล้องก็ไม่รู้เป็นไรเป็นเหมือนเดิมเลยโอ้โห
France do look dangerous. I think they could score more than two. Netherlands have got to respond.
They do. Virgil van Dijk has it. Can he spark something from the back? Just over 17 minutes gone. France 2, Netherlands 0 off Tube Studio commentary. Julian Timber. The Ajax man rolls it back into Gertrude. Gertrude part of the final side. That's 6 points clear at the top of the table at the moment.
ขออภัยครับขออภัยไม่รู้เป็นไรไม่รู้เป็นทำกล้องแบบนึงฟังเสียงไปก่อนนะพวกพี่ต้องชาร์จแบตไม่เข้าไม่รู้เป็นอะไรไม่เชื่อ
And a total miss of the kick from Gini Wijnaldum. That should have been 2-1. The Dutch still have it though. Berghuis, De Roon, edge of the box. Left-footed shot from him, potentially no. Well played wide to Kenneth Taylor. Scoops the ball in, and Kanate has to be wise to it. Nods it out for, well, a throw just the right side of the corner flag as far as the French are concerned. That was better. Wijnaldum won't get too many better chances than that.
No, I mean, they look dangerous. 2 crosses there.
ครับมาแล้ว
That's just a little bit lax. In the end, not quite falling for the men in orange, but
เป็นที่เน็ตไทยใช่ครับเน็ตไม่ค่อยดีเน็ตทัวร์มันหลุดหลุดบ่อยมากก็สวัสดีนะครับพี่ๆทุกคนวันนี้นะเราจะโฟกัสกันที่คู่ฝรั่งเศสกับเนเธอร์แลนด์นะครับแล้วก็สวีเดนกับเบลเยียมนะครับ
But obviously it's a wake-up call to France that they need to be on it a little bit more. It's not going to finish 2-0 this game.
No, it's not, as Berghuis works it back to De Roon.
วันนี้พี่ไม่เชียร์สวีเดนเหรอพี่อยู่สวีเดนไหมครับวันนี้พี่ไม่เชียร์สวีเดนเหรอ
leaving it for Simmons, went for the shot himself. It was comfortably into the hands of Mike Mannion. But this is certainly getting the feel that the Dutch are starting to
พี่ชิวๆพี่ทำงานอยู่ที่สวีเดนพี่ต้องเชียร์สวีเดนนะแต่วันนี้สวีเดนก็กองหน้าก็มีอีซักแล้วก็มีกูรูเซฟกี้นะใช่ไหมครับใช่พูดเป็นไงบ้างอ่ะอีทขึ้นนำแล้วนะครับมอนเตโกมอนเอนโกเซอร์เบียก็นำแล้ววันนี้นี่มีประตูกันไวมากนะครับแต่ละคู่
I don't think he's done anything yet in 20 minutes. That would be the fear from a Netherlands viewpoint. The best player on the field hasn't got involved.
Well, he's done one thing. It was an assist for Antoine Griezmann, but he has been very quiet. Yeah, the Dutch are growing in confidence, aren't they? Ake back to Wijnaldum. Missed that World Cup through a broken leg. Yeah, has it again now, Virgil van Dijk. Czech Republic 2, Poland 0 and 1-0.
ผมว่าฮอลแลนด์อาจจะยิงได้นะทำเป็นเล่นนะฮอลแลนด์อาจจะมีตีไข่แตกมั้งสวีเดนแพ้คงไม่หรอกมั้งครับพี่แต่วันนี้เบลเยียมเขาจัดตัวเต็มเหมือนกันนะครับเดอะบอยลูกากูลงหมดเลยอ่ะก็น่ากลัวเหมือนกันนะสวีเดนก็มีตัวทีเด็ดอย่างอีซักคูรูเซฟกี้นะคอยเบิร์กเนี้ยครับตรงนี้เชียร์เบลเยียมหมดแล้วครับมีท็อตซาด้วยปันใจคนใหม่ของแฟนปืน
A little burst of speed and they just simply cannot live with him and of course because it's close to Kolo Muani I think the defence has got suckered in he's left it and there's enough space there Mbappe one-on-one with the keeper and he's made him look foolish I mean he hasn't done anything yet he's got a chance he's
ฝรั่งเศสกดประตูที่3ไปเลยโถจะได้สบายๆหรือว่าเนเธอร์แลนด์จะมาตีไข่แตก
I was expecting some kind of response from the Netherlands but that is France at their devastating best.
Yeah, France 3-0 up, and they've arguably been the worst side in the opening 20 minutes. Memphis can't believe it. Gertrude, you felt sorry for him there because he anticipates the touch, and as soon as he does that, you can see the look on his face. He knows. It's almost like you can see the shadow of Mbappe running in behind him.
แล้วครับฝรั่งเศสจะสวนแล้วครับเอ็มบัปเป้
Yeah, I mean, he's got the keeper to be. I mean, he could have put it either which way, but you know he's wrong-footed him.
ชัวร์เมนดี้โอ้ยสวยเอาแล้วครับหลุดแล้วเอ็มบัปเป้ยิง 3-0 เบลเยียมยังไม่ยิงครับเฮ้ย 3-0 เอ็มบัปเป้ยี่ลูกนี้สวยจัดครับเพื่อนๆเปี้ยโอ้มุนนี่เล่นอย่างนี้เลยเหรอโอ้ไม่ควายให้เอ็มบัปเป้สวยจัดครับเพื่อนๆชัวร์เมนดี้จ่ายให้มุนนี่นะเนี่ยครับลูกนี้โอ้โหไม่ล้ำแน่นอนโอ้โหตัวเมนดี้จ่ายให้มุนนี่ครับมุนนี่โอ้โหหลอกเขาสวยเลยครับเพื่อนๆหลอกอยู่เลยครับฝรั่งเศสขึ้นนำ 3-0 แล้วครับพี่น้องเอาไงต่อครับอย่างเงี้ย
It's not unfair to suggest he isn't controlling his back line this evening.
No, I don't think. Well, I don't think. I'm not sure who is controlling the back line. They're getting no protection either.
เนเธอร์แลนด์โดนไป 3-0 แล้วทีนี้ทำไงล่ะครับ
We could argue France have only had 5 attacks and they scored 3 goals. So what protection?
โคมันนี่เครียดเลยนะครับโค้ชเนเธอร์แลนด์
The pace of Mbappe. It's a lovely step over from Muani though, isn't it? Because if he takes a touch, Mbappe's in danger of being offside. But because he didn't, he's let it go through.
ก็สวัสดีนะครับพี่ๆทุกคนนะครับใครที่เข้ามาใหม่นะครับหรือว่าเพิ่งเข้ามานะผมฝากกดติดตามกด Subscribe ให้หน่อยนะครับพี่
any more encouragement than he's got a goal and an assist. France purring and Netherlands
ใช่ฝรั่งเศสมันโหดจริงครับ
some kind of response before half time.
Yeah, interesting tactics. Those positions.
It's walking pace at the moment for Les Bleus. And in the end, they decide to go back to the halfway line in possession with 25 minutes ticking over at the Stade de France. Expecting, well, it looked a mouth-watering clash on paper. Obviously, Netherlands getting their way back up towards the pinnacle after a fair few number of seasons in the doldrums, but qualifying for tournaments, etc. And obviously, only beaten by the eventual World Cup winners on penalties.
เล่นเป็นทีมไม่ต้องมีซุปตาร์เหมือนอาร์เจนตินา
But they're back a team on the up in theory, but they've been 25.5 minutes have not gone.
ใช่ครับเล่นเป็นทีม
Here goes Mbappe
แต่โหดจริงฝรั่งเศสอะครับเอ็มบัปเป้อะแม่งเฉลิมฉลองกัปตันทีมด้วยนะเอ็มบัปเป้เพิ่งได้เป็นกัปตันทีมนัดแรกเลยนะครับประเดิมเลยยิงด้วย1 ประตูก็เห็นในข่าวบอกว่ากิสมันเหมือนจะไม่พอใจนะที่เอ็มบัปเป้เป็นกัปตันแต่ผมว่าถ้าเอ็มบัปเป้เป็นก็ดีอะครับเพราะเก่งจริงในเรื่องฝีมืออะไรเขาก็เก่งจริงแล้วก็อายุการใช้งานมันก็นานกว่ากิสมันโดยไม่ต้องเปลี่ยนไปเปลี่ยนมาให้วางเป็นฐานรากเลยเขาก็คงคิดแบบนี้ผมว่านะ
But they barely had a kick in the French half since going 3-0 down. I know it's only 5 minutes, but this didn't happen the second goal.
Yeah, and you look at it's 2-0, you look at the scoreboard, you think we've got a chance, we'll get one, we'll be fine here, we'll get another one. One usually brings 2, but 3-0, it's a different situation, isn't it?
อยู่สวีเดนมา32 ปีไม่เคยเชียร์ทีมสวีเดนโอ้โหอยู่โคตรนานเลยพี่32 ปีโอ้โหสงสัยได้พี่คงได้ภรรยาที่นู่นแล้วมั้งครับอยู่32 ปีเนี่ยสุดยอด
They've obviously put him in there. He's a very good footballer, this Timber. He's played in midfield. I think they're trying to get him to almost play the Frankie de Jong role now.
ลาบิโอเอาแล้วจะสวนไม่ได้ครับเสร็จ
It's an interesting tactical point.
Here's Hernandez on the overlap from Mbappe. He's galloping down the left-hand side. Cross comes in. Oh, and it just almost wrong-footed Silerson. I don't think that was a shot, but just backpedaling and flapping. Maybe the whistle had gone because Colin Moine is looking a little bit frustrated. I think this is a cross gone wrong, which almost went in Hadji style, but I think Colin Moine has actually been penalised for something.
I think he tripped Van Dijk in the middle. Yeah, I was going to say Paul
ออสเตรียนี่ก็นำอาเซอร์ไบจันแล้วนะครับ1-0จากซับบิเซอร์ด้วยโอ้ตัวเก่งจากแมนยูมีประตูเกือบทุกคู่แล้วครับยกเว้นคู่เดียวนะมีคู่มอนโดวานะครับที่ยังไม่ยิงประตูแล้วก็คู่สวีเดนนะยังเสมออยู่0-0นอกนั้นทุกคู่นะรอบแบ่งกลุ่มค่ำคืนนี้มีประตูหมดเลยไปดูบอลคู่เช็กกับโปแลนด์ครับเรือน้องล็อกที่เบอร์20เตะขาคนรอเป้ถ้าไม่ออกทะเลหรือทำตัวขยะยังไงก็ไปแต่ผมว่าเอ้ยเข้าโอ้โหเกือบเข้านึกว่าเข้าอีกแล้วทีโอเฮร์นันเดสเนี่ยตัวนี้ทีเด็ดเลยทีโอเนี่ยเชื่อดีมันเกือบเข้าประตูปัดก่อนฝากเพื่อนๆด้วยนะครับคนที่เพิ่งเข้ามาใหม่นะผมฝากกด Subscribe ฝากกดติดตามให้หน่อยนะครับตอนนี้ช่องของเรานะจะเดินหน้าสู่ 2,000 ซับนะครับฝากพี่ๆเพื่อนด้วยนะครับมันสวมไม่ได้นะครับเขาแต่งตั้งแล้วเป็นเอ็มบัปเป้นะที่เป็นกัปตันทีมถาวรแล้วจะสวมได้ก็ต่อเมื่อเอ็มบัปเป้ไม่ได้ลงนะครับสำหรับทีมชาติฝรั่งเศสนะเขาแต่งตั้งประธานเป้เป็นกัปตันทีมของทีมชาติฝรั่งเศสแล้วนะครับเมเซม่าจะประกาศเลิกเล่นแล้วก็ได้ครับเพื่อนๆอย่างโยลิสพวกวาลานพวกอะไรก็ประกาศเลิกเล่นกันหมดแล้ว
space, right edge of the box, low ball in towards the penalty spot. It's got through a crowd and a bit of a miss hit. So he's certainly upset to Mbappe. He felt he could have controlled it. I don't know how this has reached him, but 8, 9, 10 yards out. He's a little bit behind him actually, and he couldn't quite wrap his boot round enough.
ใช่โปแลนด์โดนนำ2 ลูกก็เหนื่อยอ่ะผมว่าก็เหนื่อยอ่ะเอ็มบัปเป้เอาไงเปิดไปอีกแล้วเอ็มบัปเป้เข้าทางกริชมันเอาสวยกริชมันได้บอลต่อกริชมันคืนกุนเด้ออกลาบิโอคืนเลยครับโคนาเต้ลาบิโอเปิดไม่ถึงครับครับมุนนี่ถ้าเบนเซม่าได้ไปบอลโลก 2022 อาจจะไม่ได้แชมป์โลกใช่ผมว่ามีส่วนนะเพราะเบนเซม่าท็อปฟอร์มจัดครับตอนนั้นอ่ะผมคิดเลยว่าถ้ามีเบนเซม่าผมว่ามันกว่านี้แน่นอนจังหวะคมๆนะฝรั่งเศสคงจะมีโอกาสมากกว่านี้คุณเอ็มบัปเป้นะครับยิงข้ามคานไปเขาเป็นรุ่นใหม่อย่างแท้จริงนะเอ็มบัปเป้เนี่ยผมว่าแม่งเฟี้ยวดีอ่ะArgentina. There was criticisms made by Argentina that essentially Netherlands just played long ball from then on, but it worked to a degree. They got back in the game. That's potentially the game changer now. Just go long.
Well, that is the option he gives you, isn't he? It allows you to change your tactics significantly. There'll be a few Dutch players nervously looking towards the touchline because there's 3 or 4 who might be candidates to go off.
Yeah, France do have possession.
พี่พิมพ์ก็คิดใช่ไหมครับถ้าฝรั่งเศสได้เบนเซม่าไปนะผมว่าแม่งเฟี้ยวเลยมีโอกาสได้แชมป์โลกสูงมากๆไปโอ้โห
It was a terrible pass from Upamecano. Then Netherlands exploited it. They probably did everything right up until the point where Depay maybe should have gone left foot rather than right.
ครึ่งชั่วโมงผ่านไปนะครับฝรั่งเศสนำ 3-0 นะอีกคู่หนึ่งก็ยังเสมอนั่นดิครับในลีกเล่นไม่ค่อยดีเลยแต่ทีมชาติเนี่ยมาเป้เล่นดีนะเหมือนส่วนผสมมันยังไม่ค่อยจะดีเท่าไหร่กองกลางไม่ค่อยดีครับปารีสผมว่าต้องหาเปลี่ยนกองกลางยกชุดเลยอะกองกลางกองหลังเนี่ยครับต้องเปลี่ยนใหม่หมดอะแดนหน้ามันดีอยู่แล้วครับขอลิงก์ดูหน่อยได้ครับพี่วาสนาผมส่งให้แต่ผมส่งให้แล้วก็ลบเลยนะพี่นี่ครับพี่ขอลิงก์ครับเดปายโอ้โหยิงเกือบได้เดปายครับโอเคนะพี่เอาลิงก์ไปแล้วนะผมลบแล้วใช่ครับอาร์เจนตินาอยากอ่านเห็นเมสซี่ร้องไห้แน่ขอให้ผู้ติดตามถึง 10,000 ครับ ขอบพระคุณครับพี่ก็คงต้องใช้เวลาครับฝากพี่ๆด้วยนะครับคนที่เพิ่งเข้ามาฝากกดติดตามฝากกด Subscribe ให้หน่อยนะแล้วก็ใครจะสนับสนุนช่องนะครับเป็น QR Code ในช่อง Support มีได้เลยนะครับขอบพระคุณล่วงหน้าเลยนะครับกิสมันวันนี้โหเด่นเลยนะหัวชมพูเลยนะกิสมันเนี่ย
I'm trying to think of a comparative player, but he's
เวคฮอร์สนะครับลงมาแล้ว
He's almost like a winger who's been converted into a forward. He knows where he wants to be, and he almost looks.
เวคฮอร์สลงแล้วนะครับเพื่อน
point of view, he just seems to always make the right run.
Yeah, he's had good impact on the game so far.
ต้องเปลี่ยนนะผมว่ามันก็น่าเปลี่ยนนะโอ้โหมันเล่นไม่ได้เลยอ่ะ
They were second best for long periods. France, of course, that was months ago. Different ball game now. This is qualifiers. Valverde course has caught Rabiot. I don't think there was that much in it. The referee felt the need to have a word. It is a free kick in a not too dissimilar position from which Upamecano scored. Of course, Griezmann will take a free kick, swinging it in left-footed.
หรือเอ็มบัปเป้มันเกิดมาเพื่อบอลโลกวันยูโรได้แชมป์โลกกับรองแชมป์โลก ในลีกอะต้องย้ายครับผมพูดเลยควรจะย้ายไปอยู่กับทีมใหม่อยู่มัดริดอะไรอย่างเงี้ยครับ
Yeah, Ibrahim Konate, a good header at the near post, hoping for his first international goal. It is a good save by Cillessen down to his right-hand side, tipping round the post.
โอ้โหลาบิโอโดนทำฟาวล์
Desperate defending from a Netherlands viewpoint. Griezmann corner towards the near post, and that's another free header.
หิวเลยครับเพื่อนๆนี่ขออนุญาตกินหน่อยนะหิวข้าวเฮ้ยนำแล้ว 1-0 ลูกากูนะครับยิงขึ้นนำให้เบลเยียมนำแล้วนะครับ 1-0 เอาละครับใช่ครับควรย้ายตั้งนานแล้ว ต้องย้ายครับเอ็มบัปเป้ถ้าอยู่ปารีสแล้วก็แบบนี้ไม่น่าจะมีอะไรดีขึ้นนะเอาละครับเพื่อนๆลูกากูน่ะหม่งได้แล้วสวีเดนนะครับโดนนำไปแล้วโอ้โหมงโอ้โหเกือบโดนประตูที่5ไอ้ที่4แต่ไม่มีทีมไหนสู้ค่าตัวเอ็มบัปเป้ได้นั่นเลยครับมาดริดสู้ได้ผมว่านะผมว่ามาดริดมีตังค์จ่ายขอให้เอ็มบัปเป้มาอย่างเดียวอ่ะผมว่ามาดริดมีตังค์จ่ายแน่นอนนี่เยอะเกือบโดนประตูที่4แล้วเนเธอร์แลนด์เละตุ้มเป๊ะเลยอ่ะเนเธอร์แลนด์วันนี้ไม่รู้เป็นอะไรฮอลแลนด์ที่ชิวๆขำเลยที่อยู่สวีเดนมา32 ปีนี่พี่แทบจะเป็นคนในนี่แล้วนะพี่คนสวีเดนแล้วเนี่ยดูนานกว่าผมอยู่เมืองไทยผมเพิ่ง30 ปีเองครับ
Belgium now lead, so no goalless games then today. Keep you up to speed with the scores and score. Well, certainly the scores, so that as the game goes on. But in this game, France have been pretty emphatic in their first half performance. In the main, as Netherlands on the attack, trying to respond with the cross coming in from Simons, playing on the right. It's cleared away near post, but it's still with Berghuis who clips it in. Griezmann heads away, only to Nathan Ake.
ผมว่าถ้าเอ็มบัปเป้อยากย้ายไงเขาก็ปล่อยเชื่อผมดิเกือบโดนผมว่ามีประตูที่4เชื่อผมดิฝรั่งเศสแม่งก็ยิงได้ประตูที่4อ่ะแม่งบุกที่ผ่านเลยครับ
Down the left-hand side with Wijnaldum. Pass took a little bit of a deflection, half charge down. France are now trying to play their way out of trouble and do. Good switch of play. I thought it was a good switch of play. 2 straight in the end. Mbappe doesn't really chase in behind. And that's going to bounce through to Cillessen, who admittedly is well outside his area. And Van Dijk collects off his keeper. Wijnaldum's allowed to turn forward towards the pie, but didn't have much space to work with there. Wijnaldum's won it back, only to give it away. There's a question of how ball, in fact, it's given.
เควินเดอะบอยได้ลงแล้วนะใช่ครับเบลเยียมได้ลงครับนัดนี้เดอะบอยลงทอสซาลงลัวกูลงหมดเลยนะครับ
as Van Dijk's up there, of course Weghorst, a new dynamic. Cross doesn't beat the first man though, arguably the second man, but he was well ahead of any of the
ออสเตรียก็นำ 2-0 แล้วนะครับ
so disappointing cross
หมู่เกาะไฟโลนี่นำมอนโดวาเลยนะ 1-0 นะครับ
Timber to De Roon, he's a little bit under pressure, and in fact
เอาละครับทุกคู่มีประตูหมดแล้วนะ ทุกคู่ในค่ำคืนนี้มีประตูหมดแล้วนะ 38 นาทีผ่านไปนะครับฝรั่งเศสนำ 3-0 แล้วก็เบลเยียมนะครับนำสวีเดน 1-0 นะครับหนุ่มผมทอด
So 3 might not be the limit of France's goal scoring ambitions. Netherlands 30 yards out, central position, under a little bit of pressure, but the room space on the left for Ake is allowed to control it. Easy spot, deep towards the far post. It's over everyone's head.
สวิตเซอร์แลนด์ก็ไม่มีดาวดังครับแต่เล่นเป็นทีมดี
Tried a nutmeg, didn't quite work, and France have it back.
นี่เวนานุ่มเล่นไม่ออกเลยครับเพื่อน
Goes Kolo-Muani. Coman slows it down a fraction, working a long 1-2. It's just buying the home side space somewhere. Happens to be Rabiot now. Netherlands have retreated pretty quickly, as you'd expect, given they've conceded 3 and looked susceptible. In plenty of
5 ลูกเลยพี่ผมว่าก็น่าจะมีโอกาสนะ 5 ลูก
work has arguably been done. Now less than 4 minutes at the end of the period. We have, of course, seen Ronald Koeman make a tactical change at obviously 3-0 down in the first half. Do you think there's a point that maybe, I don't want to say give up, but you know, think let's limit the damage. I'll come back to Jack in a moment because Mbappe's on the break down the left-hand side. Couple of steps.
คือเนเธอร์แลนด์แบบถ้าจะทำอะไรไม่ค่อยจะได้เลยครับอาเก้เปิดเนี่ยครับแบหัก
Half a tackle comes in there from Gertrude. Hernandez will retrieve. And France start again. Layoff from Coman. Half blocked. Can't quite work a 1-2.
ปีนี้อาจจะเกิดขึ้นได้อีกนะผมว่าก็ต้องรอรุ้นนะเพื่อนๆพี่ปีนี้ฝรั่งเศสก็เปลี่ยนถ่ายยุคหลายคนอยู่เหมือนกันครับป๊อบบาร์กองเต้ก็ไม่ได้มาติดแล้ว
Yeah, shut up shop. Do you think at some point if they don't get a goal?
Well, can they shut up the shop? That's the question. Plus
ผมว่าเขาเป็นประเทศที่ดีนะต่อให้ไม่มีป๊อบบาร์กองเต้แม่งก็ยังเข้าจริงอะครับเก่งเลยครับเขาพัฒนาดีนะเด็กรุ่นเก่าๆอ่ะเด็กรุ่นใหม่อ่ะก็มีแบบพัฒนาการดีเล่นแทนรุ่นพี่ได้ไม่ได้มีดาวดังแค่แบบชุดเดียวอ่ะมีหลายๆชุดฝรั่งเศสครับเขาถึงแบบเข้ารอบลึกรอบชิงตลอดเลยเข้ารอบลึกๆตลอดเลยทีมชาติฝรั่งเศสเขาแบบเจเนอเรชันยุคใหม่ของเขาแบบทดแทนคนเก่าได้สบายๆครับต่อให้หมดคนนี้หมดแดนหมดตำแหน่งนี้ก็ยังมีคนอื่นขึ้นมาแทนตลอดสำหรับฝรั่งเศสอะเก่ง
totally different to how they were planning to play, but they were 3-5-2 before Christmas, so they need to find some sort of tactical rhythm as well.
Yeah, and they've changed the right side of defence or switched them around. So Koeman still working things out, perhaps for the Netherlands. There's a ball over the top, and Hernandez is onside. It goes for the volleyed cross towards Kolo-Muani, headed away by Van Dijk, not particularly brilliantly, but there are more orange shirts back there than there are French attackers on this occasion, and it's cleared away downfield. It will be
ปีนี้น่าจะเป็นร่างทองสุดๆของเดอะบอยก็ต้องรอลุ้นนะครับเพื่อนๆถ้าเดอะบอยไม่ได้ปีนี้ก็แย่แล้วอายุเยอะแล้วอ่ะอีก4 ปีข้างหน้าก็คงจะงอมแล้วคงจะเล่นไม่ได้เหมือนตอนนี้แล้ว
goal difference might play a role at some point, but obviously somebody's got to beat the
เยอรมันน่ากลัวปีนี้เป็นเจ้าภาพด้วยผมว่าเยอรมันน่ากลัวเพราะเขาเหมือนเขามีบทเรียนจากในบอลโลกอะเยอรมันอะแล้วโค้ชเก่งด้วยฮันตี้ฟิกอะสบายเลยวันนี้ฝรั่งเศสเล่นหมูสบายชิวๆไม่ต้องไปซีเรียสเลยครับprobably need some kind of regrouping and tactical change in the second half to change this game around. France defend that long ball, the long diagonal, rather than just an aimless hoof downfield. Koeman is under a bit of pressure, and I think he's just made a mistake there, and it will be a throw into the Netherlands. Perhaps one last chance with 30 seconds left to try and get a goal. Depay wanted to take a quick throw in. He's not going to be allowed to by the French options. Ake, I'm not convinced that wasn't a foul throw, but he's got away with it. ไอเจ็บนะครับก็เหมือนเบลเยียมครับมันไม่มีตัวทดแทนขึ้นมากันได้หาเราลุงยากใช่ผมว่าใช่เหมือนที่ผมคุยอะฝรั่งเศสอะไม่ว่าจะกี่รุ่นกี่สมัยก็มีตัวแทนขึ้นมาตลอดเหมือนหมดยุคอองลีอะครับตอนนั้นอะอองลีเป็นกองหน้าฝรั่งเศสใช่ไหมครับก็เป็นเบนเซม่าขึ้นมาใช่ไหมครับพอเบนเซม่ามีปัญหาครับทีมชาตินะครับก็มีชีลูนะพอชีลูกับเบนเซม่าเริ่มโรยลาก็มีเอ็มบัปเป้มีกิสมันก็มานานแล้วครับช่วยอยู่ด้านล่างตลอดพอกองกลางนะตอนนั้นไม่มีซีดานพอไม่มีซีดานปุ๊บก็มีตัวอื่นขึ้นมาแทนขออนุญาตแป๊บนึงUp he steps. Now he dinks it in towards the far post. Glanced away by France. I think that was off the head of Canal. เนี่ยครับมีพวกฟองลิเวอรี่มีพวกตัวพวกนาซิโซโก้ minutes of stoppage time. One was meant to be played. And in fact, that corner will not be taken at the break. Well, Netherlands need a breather. They've been played off the park. France 3, Netherlands 0. Second half coming up.
Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8.
เขาก็มีตัวมาทดแทนตลอดนะสำหรับฝรั่งเศสครับแต่อย่างเบลเยียมเงี้ยครับพอหมดยุคเดอะบอยหมดอาซาเงี้ยครับหมดลัวโก้เนี่ยหาตัวยากมากเลยครับมีดิลิมันเนี้ยครับก็ไม่รู้จะเก่งเท่าไหร่แบกทีมได้หรือไม่มีทอสซาก็เริ่มอายุเยอะแล้ว28 29แล้วกองหน้าก็ไม่มีใครนะหมดยุคนี้ครับหมดยุคเจเนเรชันนี้นะของเบลเยียมผมว่าน่าเป็นห่วงก็ต้องปั้นอีกพักหนึ่งอะเอาละครับจบแล้วนะครับทั้ง2คู่นะครับก็เบลเยียมนะครับขึ้นนำสวีเดน 1-0 แล้วก็ฝรั่งเศสนะครับนำเนเธอร์แลนด์3-0นะครับเดี๋ยวเรามารอลุ้นครึ่งหลังกันนะครับว่าครึ่งหลังจะเกิดอะไรขึ้นอีกบ้าง
home for a free kick, poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurel Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful, France have been fabulous, 3-0 at the break.
แล้วพรุ่งนี้นะครับเพื่อนๆคู่ทีเด็ดเลยพรุ่งนี้ครับเพื่อนๆไอนอร์เวย์นะครับกับสเปนนะผมว่าน่าดูนะฮาแลนด์ด้วยผมว่าน่าดู
Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurel Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurel Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A
ต้องพัก
fabulous
ครึ่ง
start
นะครับ
by the
เพื่อน
French.
ๆพี่
Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just
ๆก็
2
ใครที่ยังไม่
minutes.
ได้กดติดตาม
Inside
นะครับ
ball
ฝาก
from
กดติดตาม
Mbappe.
นะครับ ฝากกด
Griezmann
Subscribe ฝาก
home.
กดติดตามให้หน่อย
Deo
นะครับพี่
Upamecano
ๆเพื่อน
then made it 2-0 after
ๆก็
8,
ถือว่า
bundling
ช่วย
home for a
สนับ
free
สนุน
kick.
ช่อง
Poor
ของเรา
goalkeeping
นะครับ
by Jasper Cillessen.
แล้วก็
Then
ใครจะ
Mbappe himself
สนับส
got
นุน
in
ช่อง
on the
นะครับ
act,
ก็
stroking
ตัว
past the
โค้ดด้านหน้า
goalkeeper
ได้
after a
เลยนะ
lovely
ครับ
through
ขอบ
ball
พ
by
ระคุณ
Aurel
มาก
Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurel Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball
โดยเด่นต้องยอมรับความจริง เนาะพอหมดยุคซาลาตันนะครับ รู้สึกว่าสวีเดนไม่สนุกแล้วเลยเนาะตอนนั้นเป็นยุคซาลาตันนี่คือสนุกมากจริงๆนะครับเพื่อน
Stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurel Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor
ๆแต่รอลุ้น
goalkeeping
ครึ่งห
by
ลังนะครับ
Jasper
เพื่อนๆที่
Cillessen.
ว่าจะเกิด
Then
อะไร
Mbappe
บ้าง
himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurel Chouameni.
เสียดาย
The
กอง
Dutch have
เต้
been
ทำไม่ติด
dreadful.
พลาด
France have been fabulous.
ดีแล้วใช่ไหม
3-0 at the break.
เขาเจ็บครับ
Half-time
พี่
in Paris, and it's France
ทีมถ้าเขาไม่เจ็บเขาติดอยู่แล้ว
Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the
กอง
French.
เต้ครับ
Antoine
แต่เสียดาย
Griezmann
เขา
giving
เจ็
the
บ
lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from
เขาไม่เจ็บ
Mbappe.
นะเขาติดแน่นอน
Griezmann
ครับทีม
home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act,
ก็อยากให้เขาติดเหมือนกัน ผมชอบเขาอ่ะเก่ง
The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping
ก็
by
มีอะไรก็พิมพ์มาคุยกันได้นะพี่ นอกเรื่องก็ได้ คุยกันนอกเรื่องฟุตบอล คุยกันเรื่องฟุตบอลที่ผ่านๆมานะพี่ๆสนุกสนาน เราถือว่าเราเป็นครอบครัวเดียวกันนะครับพี่ๆคนที่มาดูด้วยกันตลอดก็ถือว่าเป็นครอบครัว เราคุยกันได้ พิมพ์อะไรมีแสดงความเห็นอะไรแสดงมาได้เลยครับพี่ ผมอ่านทุกแชทแน่นอน
bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurel Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurel Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break.
ผมไม่รู้ว่าบอลยูโรครั้งเนี้ย กองเต้เขาจะติดไหมแต่ผมว่าไม่น่าจะติดแล้วล่ะเพราะเขาเก็บมานานนะครับเขาอาจจะเล่นไม่เหมือนเดิมแล้วร่างกายเขาก็ไม่เหมือนเดิมนะ
Dale Upamecano then made it 2-0 after a bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Oriol Chouameni.
มันก็คงถึงยุคเปลี่ยนถ่ายแล้วนะของฝรั่งเศสเนี่ย
3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Dale Upamecano then made it 2-0 after a bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Oriol Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Dale Upamecano then made it 2-0 after a bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Oriol Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Dale Upamecano then made it 2-0 after a bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Oriol Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Dale Upamecano then made it 2-0 after a bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Oriol Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Dale Upamecano then made it 2-0 after a bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Oriol Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Dale Upamecano then made it 2-0 after a bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Oriol Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Dale Upamecano then made it 2-0 after a bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Oriol Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home. Dale Upamecano then made it
นี่โหดเหมือนกันนะนำโปแลนด์ 2-0 แบบโปแลนด์ก็ตัวดีๆเยอะนะ KVR ก็ลง
Stroking past
the
the goalkeeper
KVR
after a lovely through ball by Oriol Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann home.
จริงเหรอครับพี่ซาตันไม่ใช่คนสวีเดนหรอเขาเป็นคนประเทศอะไรพี่พูดซะผมต้องหาข้อมูลเลย
Stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Oriol Chouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful. France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0.
เขาเป็นคนบอสเนีย
Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from
บอสเนียโครเอเชียมอนเตเนโกรเซอร์เบียจริงครับพี่
Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurélien Tchouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful, France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the
แต่เขาเลือกเล่นให้ทีมชาติสวีเดนใช่ไหม
halftime in Paris.
หรือว่าเขาเติบโตที่สวีเดน
Nil, a fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann at home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurélien Tchouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful, France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann at home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurélien Tchouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful, France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe.
นี่ครับอ๋อนี่ครับแม่เป็นชาวโครเอเชียพ่อเป็นบอสเนียทั้งคู่อพยพมาที่สวีเดนและเจอกันอ๋อโอเคครับผมเข้าใจแล้วสวีเดนต้องยอมรับความจริงใช่ครับพ่อเป็นคนบอสเนียแม่เป็นคนโครเอเชียนะสำหรับซาตันมาอยู่รุ่นพี่นะครับผมอ่านประวัติอยู่
Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann at home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurélien Tchouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful, France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann at home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurélien Tchouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful, France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann at home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurélien Tchouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful, France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break.
รอสักแป๊บนะครับรอสักแป๊บหนึ่งนะครับพี่ก็อย่าลืมนะครับเพื่อนที่เข้ามาใหม่นะผมฝากกด Subscribe ฝากกดติดตามให้หน่อย
Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurélien Tchouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful, France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann at home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0 after 8, bundling home for a free kick. Poor goalkeeping by Jasper Cillessen. Then Mbappe himself got in on the act, stroking past the goalkeeper after a lovely through ball by Aurélien Tchouameni. The Dutch have been dreadful, France have been fabulous. 3-0 at the break. Half-time in Paris, and it's France 3, the Netherlands 0. A fabulous start by the French. Antoine Griezmann giving the lead after just 2 minutes. Inside ball from Mbappe. Griezmann at home. Deo Upamecano then made it 2-0.
บันไดกระตุ้นใหญ่เลยนะครับเพื่อนๆนะครับทั้งสองสนามกำลังจะลงแล้วกำลังจะเดินลงมาแล้ว ผู้เบลเยียมเริ่มก่อนนะครับ
After a pretty fabulous first half, really, they did show a few signs of nerves at the back, but they were sensational going forward and thoroughly deserving their lead. Griezmann, Upamecano and Mbappe
นี่คู่เซนเตอร์ของลิเวอร์พูลนี่มาอยู่คนละสองฝั่งเลยนะทั้งโกนาเต้ทั้งฟันได้
And yeah, it was a tough old ride in Ronald Koeman's first game back in charge. I'll take you through the lineups. 4-3-3 for the French. Mayan in goal. Hernandez, Upamecano, Canate and Koundé across the back. Rabiot, Griezmann and Tchouameni in midfield. Mbappe, Koulibaly and Koeman up front. The same 4-3-3 for the Dutch. Cillessen in goal. Gertrude and Timber have switched. Timber is now the centre half. Gertrude at right back. Van Dijk and Ake make up the back four. Daroon is now actually 4-3-1, isn't it? Because Weghorst has come on. So Berghuis, Depay and Simmons supporting Weghorst. Koeman had to make a change, both personnel and tactical, you feel, to get his side back in the game. But they've gone 4-2-3-1. We're just looking at France coming forward now. It's a long ball forward, but there's a big hole in the middle of the Dutch midfield, which Aurélien Tchouameni just seems quite happy to stand in because no one's coming anywhere near him. Griezmann just tries to start it through to Moan. It's cut out. Koeman again, he's the central man at the moment. Moan happy to go wide on the right hand side. Mbappe down the line. Rabiot is there. Daroon matched him stride. Back to Mbappe just inside the box. Works half a yard. Will he get the shot away? Still going. Mbappe trying to bundle through. He goes down somewhat theatrically, and it'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean I honestly believe that France, I don't think, have played especially well. I just think when they turn it on, they're just a different class, and that's the worry. If they did turn it on for 45 minutes, they could be 10-0 up.
มาดูครับฝรั่งเศสจะยิงเพิ่มได้อีกไหม
Because the first turn he just left Gertrude for dead, but I think because a couple of minutes ago Gertrude left his mark on Mbappe, he really wanted to make him look foolish, and I just think he overplayed it and ran out of room in the end. But I mean that's the fear when you play France.
เปิดไปโกนาเต้
Verve, pace, trickery, skill set, finishing. That they're a handful for anybody at any particular time. Perhaps they didn't show it for 80 minutes in the World Cup final, but they're too good for the Netherlands on this evidence, and I don't think they the top of their game.
ลาบิโอไปแล้วครับประธานเป้ส่งให้ลาบิโอย้อนไปที่ประธานเป้หนึ่งครั้งประธานเป้หลบไปแล้วครับประธานเป้โอ้โหจะเข้าไปยิงแล้วยิงได้ไหมโอ้โหไม่ได้ครับเพื่อนๆเอาล่ะครับเบลเยียมนะครับนำ 2-0 แล้วนำสวีเดน 2-0 แล้วครับพี่น้องครับลูกากูอีกแล้วเหรอนี่ครับลูกากูนะครับยิงประตูที่2ให้เบลเยียมนะโอ้แต่ลูกแม่งก็ต้องชมคนเปิดเลยเนี่ยไอ้หาเปิดเข้าตีนเลย1994คือดีที่สุดของสวีเดนคืออันดับ3
And then it was the Euro 2000 when they had the Boers, Kluivert, Van Nistelrooy couldn't get in the team, Seedorf, Davids, all those kind of things. The current players, there might have been one or two who've touched those kind of.
ไปแล้วคุณนี่โอ้โหจะเปิดให้เป้ไม่ได้เปิดไปโอ้โหติดอีกตัวเมนดี้โอ้โหบอลลงสุดยอดอิสมันไปต่อโอ้โหโกมองหลบไม่พ้นเดปายแย่งได้เอ้าเปิดไปติดโกมองอีกโกมองโอเคครับได้ทุ่ม
There's not an obvious goal scorer apart from Depay, is there? I know Weghorst is playing as the striker and he got 2 against Argentina in the World Cup, but he doesn't get a start. There's no Cody Gakpo. Who's going to get the goals if Depay isn't?
Yeah, there is worth qualifying. They do have a few players out with illness, Gakpo being one of them. Matches Delict another, but Yeah, it's just you wonder where the conveyor belt of talent, I think, is probably what I'm looking towards. France have certainly got a conveyor belt of talent, haven't they? Olivier Giroud is their record goal scorer. He's warming up, but I think it's fair to say those warming up with him are a bit on the younger side compared to him. Both Thuram brothers were there, Kefren and Marcus.
ลูกซ้อมเบลเยียมใครครับเนี่ยลัวกูครับลัวกู
Lillian, World Cup winner, European champion, World Cup final runner-up in 2006, and I was saying that was longer than you think. It was 5 World Cups ago now, isn't it? 2006. Wow, as Griezmann is fouled, and Canate finds Mbappe, who plays a flick around himself. No one's anywhere near him, and he has it now on the left edge of the box. Shapes to cross the ball. They'll go back to Rabiot, the Juve man, into another player who plays football in Italy, Teo Hernandez. Now Real Madrid's Tchouaméni. Wide is Koundé, who's
ก็สวัสดีนะครับพี่ๆทุกคนนะครับคนที่เพิ่งเข้ามานะผมฝากกด Subscribe ฝากกดติดตามให้หน่อยนะครับ
Depay almost battled his way through, but it wasn't to be. The ball forward wasn't the best by Griezmann. Van Dijk clears it, but only to Koundé. And now Mawani has it. The ball ricocheted. There was a half hint of offside, but play on as Mbappe has it, edge of the box, goes for the shot. He was trying to use Martin Deroon as to obstruct the
โอ้โหสวย
keeper Silison's
เทียโอไปโอ้โหเทียโอได้ฟาวล์ไว้
right effort from Mbappe, but similar to what you said earlier, he's almost overplaying, not really looking for his teammates at the moment, it seems.
No, I mean it's decent position to be shooting from, particularly when you know his talent and potential. Obviously, it started too straight.
ไปแล้วครับเอ็มบัปเป้
Probably just lacked a little bit of venom anyway. Had it even been wide to the left of Silison. I don't think Coman's had his best game. Colomon has been in and out, but you know, if we think Mbappe is obviously going to play on the left, I don't think Coman has quite been as threatening on the right.
เอา
So that's not to say he's been terrible.
โอ้ยสวย
They could really go
โอ้โห
for it.
เดปายไปไม่ได้อีก
Lay down some
ตัวเมนดี้เปิดไปเปิดติดอีกโอ้โห
45 minutes is pretty good against another top ranked side, but
คิดมัน
I just think there's another gear or two.
อ๋อเขาจะบอลมาเข้าทางอีก
For me, if I'm
โอ้
thinking
ย
about
ใครวะน่ะ
I don't think he's offered a
บุนนี่
lot.
เอ็มบัปเป้ยิงโอ้โหเข้ามือ
Those two, I might be thinking about changing.
Yeah, just
เพื่อมุนดี้ผิวอ่ะ เนี่ยครับ
but there's a good
มันอยู่ทีมอะไรวะไอ้มุนนี่เนี่ย
other players, especially looking towards the Euro.
มันอยู่ในเยอรมันนะผมจำได้ผมอยู่แฟรงก์เฟิร์ตโอ้โหแจ๋วเลยเนี่ยอยู่24เอง เข้าท่าเลยเนี่ย
Trio, and I think the other position I will be looking at, I know Ousmane Dembele often plays on the right hand side. He's not available this evening, but that right at the attack might be the one. Obviously no Karim Benzema anymore, so you would think Mawani would be the obvious choice going forward. As the competition or the one in front of
ฟันได้
Giroud looks like he's going to play on. Moussa
ฟันได้
Diaby,
เปิด
just in case the Leverkusen man's had another good season. He could come on in attack. I wonder if we'll see him later in this game. Still 5 changes to make for the French. The Dutch have already made one without Weghorst coming on. Their options attack. Brian Brobby,
โอ้โหไม่ได้
for his debut this evening is an option. Ryan Gravenberch can maybe give them someone else in midfield. Malen's a good player, Daniel Malen at Borussia Dortmund, but he's similar to a lot of the attacking players. He's not quite a
หมด
centre
กันไปเลย
forward,
ครับ
he's not quite a winger. He seems to play between the lines, and what I'm trying to say is he's not a 20-goal a season man either.
No, I mean, well, they tried at the start of the game, didn't they? And of course, they brought on a front man, a line leader, I suppose. He's not a 20-goal a man season, is he, Van Weghorst? But they want somebody who's going to lead the line. I mean, this is the way football's going. Out and out strikers. I'm not saying they're becoming a thing at the pass. You look at Erling Haaland, but if you don't have Erling Haaland, I think managers are looking at a more versatile forward as opposed to line leader as such. Obviously, Koeman's trying a man to lead the line. It just hasn't worked yet. There's still 35 minutes to go in the game plus injury time. You never know, the next goal might mix things up if the Netherlands score it. France have started, you know, reasonably comfortably, but I don't think they're overly desperate to make it 4-0. But they're in control of this game, and 3-0 up, they've done the hard work. So it's up to the Netherlands to change it. But I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it from the Netherlands.
No, neither am I. I just kind of remember too. It reminds me of Muani. It's a bit like Fernando Torres, a young Fernando Torres, or a picked the ball up there. France was is it going to be a free kick? Did the referee, as the ball popped or something, or not? Confusion raised. It's going to be a free kick by the looks of it to the Dutch on the edge of the French box. Yeah, well, Torres and Gonzalo Higuain are the players I was thinking of for Muani. I think he's more skillful than both those players, but that ability to get in down the channels and get the shot away, he's got something about him, and I'm not sure Rob agrees. But it's a free kick to the Dutch because sure, many just pick the ball up and no one quite knows why.
Yeah, I'm not getting my head around what France have done here. I mean, if he thinks the ball's popped, you don't pick it up and throw it off the pitch. Why don't you just kick it off the pitch? Why don't you kick it to the referee? I mean, it seems crazy. If Netherlands get back in this game because of a free kick scored from this range, then that'd be I mean, you can actually see a bit of the ball. It's certainly something's happened to the outside of the ball. A bit of the leather's come off. I mean, if that's what they make it with these days, I'm not quite sure. But you can't just pick a ball up because you feel like you can.
And we're not saying
let the referee referee the game.
We're not saying he picked the ball up as in he picked up possession. He literally picked the ball up. It was and then rolled it out as you would almost bowl it. It was very strange. Arsene Wenger's in the crowd this evening. This is a perfect position for Memphis Depay, actually, just to the left of centre, and he really fancies this one. He's got his hands on his hips. Steven Berghuis is there as well, a left-footed option, but it looks like Depay's ball all day long. Mike Maignan is lining up a five-man wall. It's a big one as well, with Chouameni and Rabiot in there. Griezmann on the edge. I think Kanate as well. Upamecano's just to the side. Koundé and well, Coman's going to be the one who lies behind the wall. So Depay steps up after all of that, strikes for goal, strikes it low, and it's unorthodox by Maignan. He bats it away, got his body behind the ball and bats it up into the air, almost volleyball style, the way he made the contact with the ball.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that was great keeping. I mean, he's hit the target, but you wouldn't say it was
นี่อาร์เซนเวนเกอร์เอ้ยอาร์เซนเวนเกอร์มาด้วยนะครับเพื่อน
But it is a corner. I mean, it's come out of nothing, this pressure.
Yeah, Berghuis towards the near post. It's away by Mawani, and the break is on Koeman down the left-hand side. Simmons is trying to match him stride for stride. He's got no chance, though. Griezmann's in the middle, as is Theo Hernandez. Koeman's got it, edge of the box, scoops it towards the back post. Oh, Mawani didn't get his head over the ball. I think Higuain and Torres would have scored that one, Rob.
He's got that all wrong, hasn't he? I mean, it's a fantastic break. Koeman, who has said it wasn't his best game. Admittedly, this is a foot race, and he's got the pace to stay clear. But then he's
ความจริงก็คือความจริงครูปรีชาเรียกครูไม่ได้นะครูปรีชาเขาเป็นผู้สมัครสสนะครูปรีชา
And I know it's an awkward height, but you'd expect a player that, particularly as we've picked him up today, you know, for being positive in his play. He's got that all wrong, right underneath it, leaning back. He's gone for power. He smashed it into Rosette. That's a big chance from of course, Netherlands corner.
Yeah, of course, got in the World Cup semi-final, didn't he, Muani? But not today so far. But his hold-up and link-up play has been very good as he helps out against Memphis Depay, helps Jules Koundé. And a foul eventually by the Dutchman. His former Barcelona colleague.
เอาชิบหายเนี่ยไปแล้วสวนแล้วโอแมงไปแล้ววิ่งไปโอ้โหช้าแล้วโอ้โห
Played at the Stade de France for the Reds last May in the Champions League final. Koeman down the right-hand side. He's got a bit of pressure on him by เควินเดอะบอยไม่น่าจะยิงได้หรอกครับพี่แอสซิสต์อย่างเดียว He He's still on the ground, Kerman. The ball hasn't gone out of play. Timber has hoofed it up in the air.
แต่ลูกนี้โคตรน่าเข้า
Rabiot, just a barge in the back of Rabiot there, and referee Marani's not impressed. I think Koeman was asking the question. It was one of those challenges. Came in from the side, lovely play actually by Koeman initially, but Simmons obviously saw his opportunity, sliding in and good tackle. Mbappe down the left-hand side, he cuts inside. Gertrude's improved as this game's gone on and makes a good interception. Berghuis has been quiet, he's coming away. Almost gave the ball away to Griezmann, but had the presence of mind to let it roll out and leave it, so it'll be a throw to the visitors.
Yeah, I mean, they just, again, when they turn it on, they just look that little bit more incisive, dangerous. I mean, pace does, I mean, it's simple really. If you
ครึ่งหลังจะหลับเลยอ่ะเพื่อนๆเงียบๆเลยครึ่งหลัง
utilize it, and since that run, Koeman's had a couple
มันแรงก็เหมือนไม่ค่อยเอาอะไรแล้วโกมองนี่ก็พิ้วชิบหายเลยครับเพื่อน
Netherlands just about hanging on. The problem that they've got is I'm going to discount the effort from the free kick largely because that was just ridiculous how they got the free kick there. So they just haven't created anything, and they've got to look at themselves. How is that going to change? They need more ball. They need to control that ball. Wout Weghorst, what has he changed since he came on? I mean, he's 6'5" up front, but they're not utilising him. They're not passing it to him. They're not crossing it into the area. So I just don't know what the Netherlands are trying to do. France, I think,
ประธานเป้โอ้โหจะแหวก
they're doing a job. I don't want to keep exaggerating that, but the one side that's looking dangerous in this is France when they can be bothered. Netherlands, a lot of possession. They haven't threatened the French keeper. I mean, it's really one-sided.
It is, isn't it? France leading 3-0. Ake has it. Two between himself and Pai, but they're going backwards. The Dutch, they're going left to right as we look at it in the second half. On our TV pictures, Julian Timber. Inside ball is to Darun. And wide is Berghuis. Breaks down the right-hand side, and Weghorst comes inside, and then very cleverly Canate plays it against Weghorst, and it's out for a goal kick. And I kind of summed up where I think both sides are at. Canate was pretty sprightly getting across, where Weghorst looked a bit laboured and almost resigned to what was going to happen for it. We've seen that Moani chance again. He sets himself quite nicely. The swivel of the hips.
สวีเดนก็ทำอะไรไม่ได้เลยครับเพื่อนๆโดนนำไป 2-0 ก็ไม่มีโอกาสเลยอีซักคูลูเซฟกี้ก็ทำอะไรไม่ได้เลยครับ
That was the case there as he gave it away, but it was in the Dutch half, so he can go back to position as Wijnaldum tries to bring it forward for the Orange. Lovely scooped ball to Memphis Depay. He looks to get past Canate, who tackles well. Last touch come off Depay. Griezmann thought so, no, but play on as Depay, Wijnaldum, the room. Central positions got Ake wide to left hand side. He needed to open up the play.
แปรเฮลส์เอาแล้วครับเฟคฮอตโอ้โหเตะอีก
Fair to save the 22-year-old. 21 in fact, Julian Timber. Gertrude's the 22-year-old on my team sheet as Wijnaldum will work it wide to Berghuis. He's kept his width on the right hand side. He's working his way towards Theo Hernandez, played it against his ankle.
ผมไม่รู้ตอนนี้มันเท่าไหร่อ่ะ 2-0 ด้วยเลยอ่ะ
Corner flag taken quickly, and Gertrude's in there. I'd like to see that one again. I thought maybe it came off the hand of Rabiot. It was seen to be hip height as it veered. No complaints by the Dutch. France clear the line to be a throw-in. Wijnaldum has it. Berghuis to the right-hand side. Virgil van Dijk is there, and well, they go backwards to the Dutch, and they continue to go backwards with the room. Now Timber, he'll go forward. He's looking for Simmons. Koundé nods it down. Rabiot comes back and gives it to Upamecano. Safety first this time into Theo Hernandez. Mbappe's gone down under a challenge from Gertrude, who has one cap and now he has one yellow card.
Yeah, he's probably because it's just one foul too many. I do think France have started to hit the deck quite a lot.
เลวานก็เริ่มแก่แล้วผมว่าถ้าจะมาแบกทีมชาติโปแลนด์มันก็คงจะไม่ได้แล้วทีมชาติโปแลนด์ก็เหมือนกันนะครับผมว่าถ้าหมดเลวานก็ ก็ยากแล้วล่ะที่จะขึ้นมาได้อยู่ในระดับเข้ารอบลึกๆบอลยูโรหรือว่าบอลโลกนะพอไม่มีเดวานมันก็หมดไม่ได้ฮอลแลนด์ก็พยายามจะตีไข่แตกให้ได้นะครับเป็น 3-1 ก็ยังทำไม่ได้
He didn't quite get there. I'll come back to that because Mawani's on the attack. He's just held up by Van Dijk, but he's won a corner. Yeah, I mean, Rabiot went for the intercept and then the cross came in, but, you know, Van Weghorst is a bit of a lamppost, isn't he? And the defence was reacting before he did, and it was cleared away, but it did look worrying for France for just a moment.
Yeah, for a second there, 65 and a half have gone. Still the French lead 3-0 as it was at half-time. They've got a corner kick. Griezmann will take it. I think Giroud may be Marcus Thuram. I thought I saw a flash of the number 11 shirt there. Getting ready. Griezmann towards the near post. Rabiot over the crossbar. Elsewhere, Austria now lead Azerbaijan 3-1. Czech Republic 3-0 to the good against Poland. 3-0 Greece.
พรุ่งนี้ครับอย่าลืมนะเพื่อนๆตี 1นะมีบอลไทย
Faroe Islands lead 1-0 in Moldova. Serbia 2, Lithuania 0, Sweden 0, Belgium 2. Martin de Roon's going to be replaced by the
ไม่รู้ว่าวันนี้ชิลูจะได้ลงหรือเปล่านะฝรั่งเศส
Will he go into the middle of the park or will he go 3 at the back? We'll wait and see. Will Timber push into the midfield, which is a potential
เฮ้ยหลุดแล้วมุนนี่
Kingsley Coman's going to be replaced for France. He's got a bit of a tear in his shirt, so obviously a bit of a wrestle with an opponent. Having a look, it's going to be Moussa Diaby who replaces him. It suggests he might be an option down the right-hand side. The Bayer Leverkusen man being linked with a hatful of Premier League teams in recent weeks. Manchester United, Newcastle. David Claessen's stripped and ready to go as well. They're just sorting out the board at the moment. Donio Malen as well is another option. Steven Berghuis will be replaced by Malen.
โอ้ย
And
ลาวิโอมงข้ามคานไปอีก
replaced because they're still not sorted out the board. Ronald Koeman looks on pretty frustrated by it. Always got his hands in his pockets. They've either been there or across his chest, folded this evening. It's going to be Javi Siemens, who's I think shown plenty of endeavour, but you mentioned him. I looked a bit nervy and. He looked 19, hasn't he, basically?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's sort of settled into it the longer the game's gone on. That's not to say he's been integral to Netherlands' good work because there hasn't been much, particularly in the second half. But I think he's been fairly comfortable. I did think first 20, 25 minutes he looked a little bit nervy. You know, wasn't really getting involved. But, you know, he's put in his shift. He's been tracking back. He's been making tackles. But I guess his primary job...
เอาไว้สวีเดนโอ้โหเหี้ยมีโอกาสโล่งๆเลยมึงยิงฟอกเปิดโอ้โหโล่งๆเลยไปยิงคืนกูตัวซะงั้นอ่ะไอเวน
Looks like Daley Blind has got into the number 6 role, if you like. So it's more of a 4-3-3 again for the Dutch. Although class
วันนี้เดอะบอยไม่ค่อยได้ฉายแสงเลยนะครับเพื่อนๆโดยเยี่ยมโอ้ยเกือบ 3-0 เบลเยียมโอ้แต่ลูกสวีเดนโคตรน่าเสียดายครับฟอร์เบิร์กยิงแบบเหี้ยห่วยแตกชิบหายเลยโล่งๆยืนอยู่แบบโอ้โหส่งคืนกูตัวซะงั้นอะ
Lucky tries to turn Jules Koundé. Koundé makes the tackle. It's out for a throw in the French right back area. It's Netherlands ball. They go backwards. We are into the final quarter of the game, and Rob will take us through to full time.
Cheers, Jack. Obviously, it's one-way traffic at the moment on the scoreboard. Not that there's been any goals in this second half, but Minions had very little to do in the French goal. I would say maybe that Cillessen hasn't had that much to do in the Dutch goal in this second half. But of course, his side trailing 3-0, so there's an obvious need for something to change. Malen has it on the right for the Netherlands as he takes on Hernandez, then checks back, wants a runner. It's not quite coming, he's going away from goal. As coming up in support is Timber, slipped it into the box. Weghorst down the right, took a cross shot, deflected, took the pace off it, bounced towards the keeper. It's actually probably an enterprising move from...
เน็ตหลุดอีกไอเวน
opportunities. Obviously, Depay tested Maignan.
เอาไว้ฮอลแลนด์ได้สักลูกก็ยังดีว่าเรียกความมั่นใจ
Outside the box, and he was definitely clipped.
Yeah, it was Canate, wasn't it? Who goes in to the book, and pretty similar to where
เวคฮอร์
the
โอ้โห
Pie
ไม่ได้
had
อี
a
ก
goal quite recently. He did manage to test Maignan there, had to beat it away the goalkeeper. Again, it's going to be a big wall for France, but he's only got more of a corner to aim at because he's a bit wider out on this occasion.
Yeah, it's certainly within striking range, and of course there's a full-man wall with a man lying down. I think that was Coman the last free kick, so it won't be him because he, of course, recently substituted. France not quite happy with something. Maybe it's just
ดูนะครับเพื่อนๆจะมี 4-0 เปล่า
Staley Blint runs over the ball. Depay goes for goal, clips the top of the wall, comes back to him. Now he just stands it up into the box. Van Dijk won the first header. Canate, his Liverpool teammate, hooks it clear, but it should be kept alive by.
เอาเว้ยได้ฟรีคิกอีกแล้วเว้ย
Away from a non-existent challenge by Mbappe. Supports there from Milan as well, who gets round the outside, but then slices across. I think it was a cross. It's got over the bar. They are looking a little bit more dangerous, but it's been a long time coming.
เอาละครับเดี๋ยวไปแล้วปั้นฟรีคิกอีกแล้ว
I've been impressed by Marlon since he came on. Although was he trying to clip it towards the back post, maybe just up towards about Weghorst, but he just sliced across the ball there. Looking a bit better, but France maybe happy to play within themselves at the moment as almost well Mbappe has good referee in there. He was potentially fouled there on Mbappe, but he had an advantage similar to Adama Traore against Leeds last Saturday where he just stopped playing and the referee wasn't interested and happy to play on.
Netherlands have it inside the French half now. Depay's turned away from two. Challenge comes in from Greece.
เอาไว้เดี๋ยวไปลูกนี้ต้องมาแล้วโอ้โหติดกำแพงอีก
He's just given it away. He's just had a sloppy 5 minutes, Tremaine. He's actually recovered to win the ball and tackles it forward towards Kolo Muani. But Van Dijk's there for the Netherlands, and now Wijnaldum has it for the Dutch, but they're under pressure. Mbappe leading the counter press, and it's forced Netherlands, I beg your pardon, to go all the way back to Cillessen, and the Dutch will have to start from deep. Quick reminder, the scores elsewhere, just to keep you up to speed. Austria 4, Azerbaijan 1, Czech Republic 3, Poland 0, Gibraltar 0, Greece 3, Moldova 0, Faroe Islands 1, Serbia 2-0 up at home to Lithuania, and Belgium lead by the same score in Sweden. France, of course, have been in control since the 21st minute of this contest. 21 up, that was when the third goal went in, the 21st minute, they haven't added to it. Netherlands have struggled to threaten pulling it round as Depay gets across him, but it's too far ahead of Marlon and Weghorst. It's going to come out of play, and I think it was hooked away at the far post by Hernandez. Yes, he was the one that got the touch, so it will be a Dutch throw level with the
ครึ่งหลังไม่ค่อยสนุกเลยนะเพื่อน
on their right hand
มัน
side.
3-0แล้วมันขาดไปแล้วอะ
It's half intercepted by Kolo Muani. He's got no support whatsoever. He's one-on-one at the moment with Timber, edge of the box, onto his right foot, trying to reverse pass to Rabiot, and bolts it all the way to get up there in support. Perhaps a little bit too unselfish there, if there is such a thing. And the chance comes to nothing. Simple stuff, the Netherlands, ineffectual on their own throw-in.
Yeah, it was poor, that, wasn't it? It was too short, and Timber just hesitated. Muani very, very well. There wasn't much of a running. You mentioned that Rabiot came up on the left-hand side, but Mbappe was had, dare I say, a quiet second half. Didn't really show too much interest. Diaby, I don't think he's touched the ball since he came on the right-hand side. He couldn't quite keep up with Muani either, but again, it's basics by the Dutch. I think Muani's race may not be too far from rum. We saw Giroud doing his socks up. I think Eduardo Camavinga, I imagine he won't be too far away. That'll probably be either a straight swap for Rabiot or Tchouameni. In fact,
ครับเหมือนจะเปลี่ยนตัวฝรั่งเศส
looks like they're going to bring Youssef Fofana on in midfield, so it might not be Camavinga after all.
Yeah, certainly Giroud looks as though he's going to get the last 15 minutes.
ไปแล้วฝรั่งเศสหลุดแล้ว นี่
3-0 up the French lead. They don't need
โอ้โหจะส่งลาวิโอไม่ได้อีก
Giroud will be desperate to score one. The ball's out of play for a French throw halfway inside their own half, right-hand side, but the subs are now being made. Looks like Tchouameni is the first to depart for France. Just waiting for confirmation. Might be Camavinga who's
yeah, it's 21 Camavinga, yes.
Just confusing us with the whole raft of players on the sidelines waiting to come on. So Camavinga, he can play left back as well, of course.
He's had a really good, since the World Cup, he's had a really good spell. He's played left back at Real Madrid and he seems
15 นาทีสุดท้ายนะครับเพื่อน
Tchouameni is the main man in the middle of the park as well in
ๆฝรั่งเศสยังนำอยู่นะ 3-0 เกมมันจบตั้งแต่ครึ่งแรกแล้วผมว่านะ นี่ครับชิลูจะได้ลงด้วย
No, it's Moani. There you go. So Giroud up top, and obviously it's a different kind of attack for France, but certainly, well, there's arguably 3 players there who want to make an impression. Throwing Camavinga just behind, fresh legs, etc. We're not convinced that Diaby's touched the ball yet since his introduction, which wasn't that long ago. As Koundé clears, he wasn't under a little bit of pressure there, so it's a bit of a hoof downfield. And Gertruda will just gather for the Dutch inside to Timber. A bit of a press from Giroud, but nothing more. And retreating towards their own area, the press kind of stops. France have done the job, 3-0 up with 13 minutes to go. A famous Netherlands comeback. It hasn't looked likely, and of course time is running out. They are starting to see a little bit more of the ball, but a couple of French breaks, and I still think the France are looking more dangerous. And that's a poor clearance from Silicen. Here they come. Diaby always played it between
Fofana
Mbappe.
ของเชลซีนะ โฟฟาน่าเนี่ย yes so
makes a good save. That was a terrible laugh, I think, from Klaassen. After Netherlands have been gifted the ball, let off
so
a shot on
Fofana
target for a while.
ของโมนาโก
Might be just disappointed.
ไม่ได้มาเชลซีแล้วเหรอ
Wasn't it by Mbappe? I think it was a hint that he could have squared it to Giroud, but the opportunity was there. He went for goal with his left foot, and from that range and that angle, it was a pretty comfortable save in the end for Silicen in the goal.
Konate, well, he's just dropped to left them for dead, and then he's been clipped from behind. Mbappe has hit the target, in fairness, but it's straight at the keeper, really. You'll expect him to make the save unless he's diving out of the way. Konate being helped to his feet by Memphis Depay. I think there was a yellow card coming out for Daley Blind. It was a little bit cynical from Blind, to say the least. He almost took out Nathan Ake as well, because of course he brought down Konate, who then slid into Ake.
Worth mentioning as well, it's David's 100 cap this evening. Now at Bayern Munich.
ครึ่งหลังดูก่อยมากๆเลยนะเพื่อนๆมันจบแล้วนะมันนำ 3-0 มันก็คงจบอ่ะอุ้ยเหี้ยไม่ได้3ไม่ได้4อีกชิลูนี่ก็เก่งนะทำให้โมเรลนอยปัดหวั่นมาหลายครั้งแล้วชิลูเก่งอยู่แล้วครับชิลูอ่ะ
To perhaps get a consolation, might trigger something. Don't want to overtalk it though, because they haven't looked likely to score, let alone turn a 3-0 deficit into something positive. A lot of possession though in the last 10-15 minutes, largely in
โอ้ลูกเอ็มบัปเป้โคตรน่าได้เลย4-0
has it now forward towards Depay, back to Blind, who was thinking about a ball over the top to Ake, but he waits for the City defender just to retreat back towards him into space. Admittedly, it's not threatening getting in behind. That's a better ball out to the left by Klaassen for Depay. Infield to Marlon. He goes around his man, angles tight, tries to square. Scramble behind just about. I think he'd over-gambled there, Mannion, but he managed to keep his legs in the way. It's just going to be a corner.
Yeah, you've got to fancy Marlon's going to start against Gibraltar on Monday. He's made a big difference in the 10 or so minutes he's been on it. He's basically just injected a bit more pace, a bit more urgency into the attack that's been missing.
ใช่ครับเล่นอยู่กับ AC มิลาน
Final 10 minutes of the game at Stade de France, headed away near post by Giroud.
ชิลูอยู่กับ AC มิลานนะครับ
Van Dijk and Ake sniffing a mistake, didn't quite get there. Manion's off his line and gathers. So
อายุเยอะแล้วครับ36แล้วอ่ะชิลูอ่ะ
attack comes to nothing. There's a little bit of a coming together between Manion and Weghorst. I'm not sure they wanted to shake hands. In the end, they offered to do so. Nothing really, but I don't know whether Manion was just felt he'd been just clipped there or obstructed. Anyway, it's cleared by France up to the halfway line, but Mbappe's not really giving chase to what wasn't a great ball, and the Netherlands have it back. Daily Blind into the centre circle, finds Wijnaldum, who's not really been able to get into goal-scoring positions as Timber just overruns the ball, taking on more than he could chew there, or biting off more than he could chew, and he's dispossessed. France have it back with Camavinga halfway inside his own half, and France go back to Canate. He thought about taking on Weghorst, instead pirouettes and plays it back to Maignan, who floats it out to Hernandez, who heads forward for Mbappe. That's all he could do at Hernandez, because it was heading into touch. Mbappe can't collect under pressure. Netherlands regain the ball with time continuing to tick down, of course. 8.5 minutes to go. I'm going to say for them to get a consolation as Ake goes down the line for Depay, but Koundé heads away. Chimene plays it, Camavinga plays it back to Koundé, and it's a hurried clearance. So again, Netherlands getting the ball back pretty quickly with this game approaching its conclusion. Van Dijk and Timber between them, forced back to Cillessen, as Belgium have made sure of the points, it would appear, in Sweden. Third goal for them.
โอ้3-0แล้วครับเบลเยียม
Disappointing World Cup, of course.
ที่รู้นั้นรูปร่างใหญ่นะเก่งๆใช่ครับพลิกบอลเก่งที่ผ่านที่รู้อะสวีเดนเรียบร้อยครับโดนไป3-0แล้ว
Marlon getting away down the Dutch left, French right, throw in to the visitors on the halfway line. Still 3-0 to France. Very few chances in the second half. As Gertruda is trying to change that.
จะบอกนะลูกกูแฮกทิกครับเพื่อน
Wijnaldum. Now Marlon's got 2 for company. The nutmeg doesn't work.
ๆโอ้โหลูกกูแฮกทิกนะครับ3-0
Backheel pass to Hernandez into touch. Dutch throw. Pretty much on the corner flag, right hand side. 7 minutes left.
คงแพ้แล้วครับโดนยิงไป3ลูกขนาดนี้ตัวกูแฮกทิกไปเลย
Certainly been better in patches, haven't they, in this second half? But by the same token, France have been happy to take their foot off the gas. And when you think about it, there's not really been any clear-cut chances for the Dutch. Maignan made a couple of. Well, they've had half chances. He's made half saves. He's not been totally stretched. It could have been a lot worse for the Dutch, I think it's fair to say. They'll fancy themselves against Gibraltar. They might fancy themselves potentially getting a goal here. It's just one of those things where I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it.
Yeah, long. On the deck, there was a bouncing ball that Blind towed away from him. Netherlands have it back with less than 6 minutes to go at the Stade de France. Independent unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Looks as though Moldova have got a late equaliser. That Belgium third goal, incidentally, it does count. It did count far, but the goal stands. So that is still Sweden 0, Belgium 3, and Moldova have equalised at home to Faroe Islands late on, so that's 1 apiece.
สวีเดนแพ้เนเธอร์แลนด์ก็คงจะแพ้ด้วย
But here's Marlon getting in behind down the right hand side, goes down under pressure from Hernandez after springing the offside. He's looking at everybody, but I don't think he's going to get the decision. It was outside the box anyway, so it wouldn't have been a penalty. He wanted some kind of free kick, but the officials have adjudged him to have gone down too easily. And Maignan comes out to the left edge of his area just to pick up. 5 minutes to go then at the Stade de France. And France have done more than enough in this game to have won fairly comfortably. They might get a fourth. Sprung the offsides there. Can he shoot? Sorry, I was going to say can he square? He doesn't need to. He's wrapped it in. Past Cillessen inside the far post. Diaby, though, that goal might have been ruled off for offside. And it will come back. I'm sure VAR will have a check. It's touch and go. It does look as though he's offside.
It does look as though he's offside, but Gertrude was just maybe hanging back. I think they've decided it was a pretty conclusive finish, I have to say, by DRB. The official is going to go, and is there some treatment needed by one of the players? He's put his arm up, so offside has been signalled, but it's Gertrude who's down. To my mind, the Dutch have used their 3 windows for substitutions, taking off Taylor in the first half, and yeah, I'm not sure they're allowed to make another one.
Yeah, a bit of shame for Gertrude and, of course, the Netherlands to finish the game with 10 men, if that's the case. I mean, it's not going to affect the result. They just haven't
หลุดแล้วเอ็มบัปเป้
the shell shock
โอ้โห
start.
เรียบร้อย
Of course,
4-0
they went behind after 3 minutes. It
เอา
was 2
ล้ำหน้า
for 8, and the third went in the 21st. So, I mean, it was a terrible opening to the game for them. Looks as though it might be a hamstring for Gertrude.
เอ้าเป็นไร